Okay, hey folks, we are going to be talking about how to create your rental invoice and get that sent out to your customer and ways we can kind of make that an automatic process for you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over to sales and we're going to select invoices. And again, you can see a list of the invoices that are currently out there, and these of course are all outstanding. But we want to create a new one, and let's create one for autumn here. So we're going to select new invoice, and we'll just go through this. Autumn, she's all set up, due upon receipt, invoice date. Let's make this for May 1st. And then we're going to enter the service date if you have that as an option. Now the product or service, again, we've set up our items here, and Autumn lives at 7619. So what we're going to do is type in 7619, and we're going to select 7619 rent. And again, it's going to have description. Rent's going to pop in here. This is going to be for May of 2020, so I'd like to add that in. The rate is linked to the item, so we make sure to get the right rent, which is great. And this is we'll say this is a non-taxable transaction. If you are collecting sales tax, of course, leave that and it'll calculate down over here. I'll just show you an example of that actually. And then if you are using class, which with Autumn we have to, if we're using one of these other people like Sam, she's linked to the property, but with this particular property, we have it set up to be a class-related property. So select the class. If you're not using classes, this column will not be here, and when you select tenant, it'll link it to the property. But again, when you invoice the tenant, we don't want to invoice just the property. We want to invoice the resident themselves, the tenant. So Autumn Stanton. Okay, so the sales tax is auto-calculated here, and the balance due is going to be $1,631.79, and then we just save. Okay, so a few things to do on the invoice I kind of want to circle back here is if you are collecting online payments, you can check these boxes here to allow credit card payments or bank transfers. If you do it like this and they pay though, you will get charged that convenience fee, the 2.9% on this $1,600. So I mean that's going to be around, I don't know, $33, $34 for them to pay rent online. I personally like the bank transfer, which means they have to pay out of their account, which brings that down to 1% of the transaction or a $10 maximum. So in this situation, that would be a more preferable way to go. Another thing is you can batch when these are sent out by hitting the send later. But really that's it. If you have any standard message set on, it'll show up in these areas when you get sent out. If you have any attachments you want to attach in this particular situation, that doesn't make a lot of sense on what we would send, but if you do, you can. But that's it. That's how you create the invoice that is going to be sent to the tenant for rent. Now, automation. So we don't want to do this every single month. If you have one tenant, that may be okay. If you start getting 3, 4, 5 tenants, going and creating 5, 10 invoices at the beginning of every month, it could be a little bit of a hassle. Maybe you want to do it. But if you want to automate this, then we do have some options. You can go down here to the bottom and select Make Recurring. And what that does is it adds some extra boxes and fields in this invoice area. So it's going to create a template name for you. The type of template is going to be a scheduled template, so it's going to be a scheduled invoice. And then you're going to, how many days in advance do you want to create this? So if you work off our process of sending them out on the 25th, you could have this set up, 5 days in advance of the due date. So the due date's on the 1st of the month, that'd put you at the 25th or 26th of the previous month every month. Or you can get even more specific here, and under the intervals, you have your monthly, on which day you can select the 25th day of every 1 month, and the start date. Now you're already sending this out as May 1st, so we can do, if we want to send this out on the 25th, let's send this out 06/25, 2020. And then if you want to end it, you can put an end date in there after how many occurrences. If you want to do it that way, after how many occurrences, if you have a 12-month lease, that's one thing you could potentially do here. And then that does have an option to automatically send these emails, which I like, especially on rent, because it's going to be the same thing again over and over each month. So if you can take that off of your plate, then why not? And then everything else is pretty much the same. You got your billing address, you got your terms, everything is set up here. The one thing I would probably do is take out just this part of the description, because this is going to auto-generate. So, it's not going to be May 2020 for every single month. It's going to be just do rent, and then the dates will take care of the rest. And then once you're all good to go, you hit Save Template. Whoa. Oh, well, let's see here, September. It's September 16th as I'm doing this. So what this is saying is I can't set a start date for before what today's actual date is. So let's just set this up for 9/25. Let's make it easy. And then what that's going to do is, as you can see here, we went on and created that May 1st invoice, but now on the 25th of every month, it's going to auto-generate that invoice for you. And that is going to be a quick and easy way to automatically bill out your rent every month. And so if you think about this within the context of a collection process, you can create your rent invoice, you can have it sent on the 25th, and then as you saw earlier, we can set up to 3 reminders, a couple days before rent's due, on the day the rent's due, and 2 or 3 days after rent's due or whatever. And you have a 4 or 5 step collections process already in place without having to lift a finger. So it's pretty powerful, and it's a pretty nice function to have. Okay, so you have the invoice done, and if it's not automatically sent out, to manually send these out, you can select the invoice that you want to send. You come over here to the drop down, and you have the option to hit Send Invoice. And it's going to set this up based on what you already have set up in your company profile in terms of the email settings, or if you don't have anything specific, it's going to have some standard verbiage, but it's going to have your tenant's email address, the subject, and the message. And then when you send this, it's going to send over all the details however you have it set up, like we looked at in the email when we customized the form. So that's what the tenant will see. And if you have the online payment option set up, they can click the Pay Now button right from that email, and they can make a payment, which will process your merchant account, which will show up automatically in your bank account, and it makes things nice and convenient. If you have multiple invoices that you need to send out, let's just say these are all different people for the same time of the month. We're sending out 5 May 1st invoices. You can select what you need to send, batch actions, send invoice, and again, they're gone. Send them out. Same format as you saw here. It gave us a little bit of a warning, but if your stuff's all set up correctly, sending those out automatically, no problem. Okay, now let's say that you have sent your invoices out, and the customer sent you a check, or they dropped off a money order or whatever else. They did not pay online. You've manually received a check here, and you want to receive payment against that. So let's just use Autumn here, and let's clear this screen out. Okay, so we'll use Autumn here, and you find the invoice you want to pay. So let's say that she only sent you $14.95. We want to apply it to the oldest charge first. We can come over here and from this invoice screen, select Receive Payment. And so when we receive a payment, we're going to make sure we have the right tenant. And then we're going to put the payment date down. Let's just say that she's just now paying. And we'll use May 1st. And she sent a check. You can now, if you want to, you can also add different. This is going to be a pretty common one for a lot of folks. Money order. And when I put the reference in for money order, I always like to start out with an MO. A lot of times you can tell because the numbers are longer, but some of the numbers are shorter. And then what account doesn't go into? By default, it should be your operating account. But if not, make sure that's on there. And then you're going to select, you're going to put the amount of money you received, and then you're going to select where to apply that invoice or that payment. So for me, I'm going to apply it to one of these older ones here. Actually, it's not, because one of these is deposit and one of these is rent. So I want to apply, let's say that she paid $1631.79. Let's say that she paid the March invoice here. And then once that's in, all you have to do is save and close. And now the payment has been received. I want to receive another payment or two, and then we're going to go through how to create deposit this in the bank officially. So let's go on and receive another payment from Autumn. And let's say it's 5/4. This time she paid by check. Check number 125. Bank of America. 16. Yeah, let's have her pay that. And let's do one other person here. Let's do Jim Stanton. Jim paid 5/2. He paid by check. Okay, so I need to back up just a second here. So if you receive your payment that way and you select the deposit to, then what that's going to assume is that you're depositing that single payment into your bank account. And then when you go in and look at your check register, you're going to see these individual amounts, $1631, $1631, and $1295. They're going to show up as deposits. So let's say you receive a couple payments in one day and you wanted to like deposit them together. So 3 payments, 2 payments, 3 payments in one deposit ticket. So let's just take a look here. And let's have Sam Sparks make a payment. What we need to do, if you don't want to deposit it together, is we need to change this to undeposited funds. All right, and then $795 received, $795 payment. Let's just go save a new here. Actually, go back. And then let's have Autumn make another payment of $1495. Undeposited funds, $1495. And save and close. So then what you see is you have payment paid but not deposited, to where the other method automatically deposits $1295, $1631, and $1631. When you go to reconcile, basically it's going to show on the QuickBooks side that these are 3 separate deposits, and hopefully if you've done it right in the bank, they should be 3 separate deposits. If you do it this way to the undeposited funds, then you're going to have these 2 payments are going to be received but have not been deposited yet. And then we're going to go in and we're going to make a deposit. So we'll go to New, and we're going to put Bank Deposit. And those 2 payments are going to show up on this deposit. So then you select the account that you want to deposit to. You are going to select the deposit date, the day you're physically taking it to the bank. And then you're going to select the payments to include in this deposit. So you'll check next to those 2 payments, and that will give you a total of $2,290. If you have any miscellaneous funds or like cash you're trying to throw in your account, you would add it down here. But for now, we're just going to do the rent payments. So you're then going to fill out your physical deposit ticket, attach your checks or money orders to that deposit ticket that you're going to deliver to the bank. And what I like to do sometimes, it depends. If you want to, you can create a reference number, if you want to, and then mark, if I put deposit 001 here, and then you can put write deposit or DEP 001 on your deposit ticket, and that way you can match that up fairly easily. But again, if you only have a couple rent payments a month, and that's really not all that necessary. But then once this is complete, your money here matches up to what you physically have on your deposit ticket that you're going to take to your bank, and then save and close. And then from there, it will show deposited. So that particular deposit is going to be the combination of those two payments. So it's not going to be the individual, it's going to be the combination of those two payments, and they'll match up on your bank account. Let's just take a look at the reconciliation. Okay, just a quick look at the reconciliation so you can kind of see what I mean here. So here were the first three that we did. We deposited $1,631, $1,295, and $1,631. And again, since we had deposit to that account, all three of them showed up as separate deposits. This is the deposit we did where we put two payments on one deposit and delivered it to the bank. And if you need to know the detail, you can click in. I think you have to edit. Let me see here. Yeah, you can hit edit and it'll show what two payments actually came in on that deposit. Okay, so that is what we have for creating your invoice, sending your invoice, receiving that payment, and depositing funds.